We've all been there. A closet you've been meaning to clean, a stack of papers or mail on the counter, or a promise you made to yourself that keeps getting pushed to tomorrow, like exercising or eating healthy. Experts say these are incompletions, and they don't just clutter your home, they clutter your mind, they create stress, anxiety. Sometimes you're stressed out, you feel it, and you're like, why? I don't have anything going on, nothing's really bothering me. Maybe it's some of those incompletions. So today we are talking about why unfinished business weighs so heavily on us, and how just making a few changes can put us more in control. Professional speaker and coach Snowden McFall is with us again this morning. Snowden, I remember working with you years ago. One of the things you taught me was make a list.
Right.
And check it off.
Exactly.
And you were like, it could be as simple as like, I got out of bed this morning. I made it to work.
That's an intention. You intended it and you completed it.
Yeah,
you did it.
yeah.
And making your bed can be one of the most powerful things you do.
It's so funny to say that. I just started doing that on the regular.
Yes.
And it's nice when I leave, and especially nice when I get home.
Well, and it's the first completion of the day.
Right. Yeah.
Which is
it's
powerful.
a good one. Yeah. And you can do it so quickly.
Yes.
All right. So why do these incompletions have such a powerful effect on us?
Because they're essentially broken agreements. You know, we all make agreements to other people. Most of us are pretty good, if you have high integrity, at keeping those agreements with other people, but we're not great at keeping them with ourselves. Yeah. And so incompletions, every one of those agreements that you make to yourself is a string pulling on you that you haven't done, and it does weigh you down. So, for example, you set an alarm, you say, I'm gonna get up early tomorrow and I'm gonna go work out.
Right.
And you roll over and you hit the snooze and you don't get up.
Right.
The little kid inside of you says, I can't trust you.
Even yourself. Yeah.
I've broken an agreement with myself. I can't trust you. And so we all have areas we can't trust ourselves.
Right.
So like for me, I can't have candy in the house.
Yeah,
that's my area I know that I'm not going to be good about. But everything else I try and be really integrity with myself and with others.
Yeah,
so.
that's such a good point. We don't necessarily think about how the lack of trust for ourselves, how that affects us. Because how do we treat others when we can't trust them? You know, you're a little more distant. You know,
it breaks agreements.
You do the same with yourself, though.
Broken agreements destroy relationships.
Yeah,
they
even
create
with yourself.
distrust. Yeah, and you can renegotiate an agreement. You know, say you have plans for lunch with somebody and oh, something comes up and you can't make it. You can renegotiate that. But if you don't, people don't trust you. It destroys the relationship.
All right, so let's talk about that list. I love a good list. Sometimes I forget to do it, but then when I do, I'm like, ooh, this is good. But at what point does that maybe cause stress? You're doing too much of it.
Well, I mean, if your list is, multiple pages, and some of the people I coach, they have multiple pages, you got to prioritize your list and make sure that you got the most important up top. But, I'm a big believer in taking that highlighter in your favorite color, and when you finish something, you cross it again, you feel that sense of accomplishment, but you can still see it, that it's gotten done.
Yeah. I trust this. I mean, I know some people hear this stuff, they're like, it's not really true, but it really is. Cortisol, the stress hormone, I mean, that's triggered in so many different ways, and this is one of those places that if you don't finish, you start to it's naturally happening in our bodies.
UCLA did a study and found that if you just look around and you see clutter, your stress starts to skyrocket.
That's so funny. I was thinking that in my closet. Because the cleaning people were coming today, and I'm like, it's messy, and I'm like, I gotta do this. I just pushed it all in a corner, and then I left stressed with my bed made. My bed was made, though. It was made. All right. Good. So what can we do? What can we do to try to make sure that we're addressing this and not being too hard on ourselves?
Well, I'm always in favor of being kind to yourself, obviously, because most of us are terribly hard on ourselves. But the first thing is write down your agreements with other people and with yourself. I was just reading this morning a study, the actual act of writing improves your memory of it. But be really careful about what you say yes to. You and I have talked about how no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
Don't overcommit yourself. And then prioritize what you can do and what you can't do.
Right, and I think it's okay not to say no right away or even yes right away. Just what I've learned now, and I still have a paper calendar, which is nuts. I don't really like the electronic because I like to see it. But I say I need a minute. I need to go look at my calendar and I'll get back with you.
There you go.
And then I have to set an alarm to make sure I actually do get back with you.
Very good, very good. Well, that's a way. When you just asked, that's a way to keep your agreement is to set the alarm. So you have to call somebody at a certain time, or you have to go to the gym at a certain time. You have to pick up your child and set alarms on your phone.
Yeah, you can have 20 alarms on your phone.
Hey, as long as they work. you know.
So you also recommended spending just 10 minutes completing a task.
Yes.
So talk about, something like that's small, 10 minutes to
Right.
knock something out is actually still a completion.
It's major completion. You get a lot done in 10 minutes. It's astonishing how much you can get done. You can fold your laundry, you can clean up your bedroom, you can put your file folders away, you can organize, you can do a whole lot. Each one of those things would be a powerful way.
Explain this graphic to us.
So Robert Fritz wrote the book, The Path of Least Resistance, and this comes from that. It's the circle of completion. When you start a project, how do you feel?
Sometimes nervous or excited.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I was
yes.
like, I think,
Sometimes nervous.
Yeah,
but,
nervous or
but
excited.
usually excited. Most people get very excited about
Yeah.
starting a project. It's the assimilation phase, that middle piece where people fall down. They don't follow through. They get tired of it. They're working on a project. Oh, I don't want to do this anymore, and they let it slide. And that's a problem because if they don't get to the completion phase, they lose that burst of energy that
Right.
comes from completion.
From completion. That's funny because I'm trying to plan my birthday, which is in October. It's a big one. And I finally got excited about something, but in the same breath, then I started being like, oh, this is hard. I don't really want to do it. Maybe I don't need to do it. So I got to start, completing something.
That's right.
Because that's going to climb me towards the goal.
So here's something you can do is
Please.
just ask for help.
Oh, what is
What a
that?
concept for women, I know, particularly.
Yeah.
Ask for help. Ask a good friend. Say, hey, could you help me plan this?
Yeah, I think that's
Could you
great.
bounce off ideas with me and help me plan this?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that a lot, asking for help, because we don't have to
really
do this world on our own. This life is hard. It's nice to have friends. Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. All right, Snowden, thank you. We're going to try to complete
pleasure.
something. I'm completing the show. It is over. It is done. The Weather Authority weekday is up next.